Hello everyone and welcome to our Playing with Pixels video. I'm Mitch and joining me is Callum.
Greetings.
Once again, we did the Game Awards and now we're talking about the following year, which by the time this is out will be 2020, but it isn't right now. So we're talking about what we can expect from Xbox in next year. In next year? Is that how you say it?
Over the course of the next year.
Over the course of the next
year or so.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about what we can expect and kind of make shit up beyond there. So I think that's the first minute. You're allowed to swear in the first minute. So the first game we can expect in 2020 is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Had a sneaky delay.
Yeah, it did. Was it originally, so February it was originally set for?
February, yeah.
Something.
February 22? Or is that Last of Us?
Yeah, I think Last of Us may have been February too.
22.
Delayed for a couple of months, yeah.
Either way, it's delayed. They thought we didn't notice, but we did. It's
a short delay, so it's probably, I would imagine, just kind of refining things, just making sure that it's ready for shipping. But yeah.
It's a month away. We've already spoken about it a lot because I'm extraordinarily excited for it.
You're a massive fan, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Not yet, I haven't played it, but I imagine I will be.
Of the Blind Forest.
Of the Blind Forest. The forest which cannot see. That's one, yeah.
And to be honest, that is a game I feel I missed out on because I really wanted to play that original game. Just even from the very first unveiling and stuff. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but I was really just intrigued by it. I thought it looked excellent. And it's definitely a game that's been in my backlog for a long time that I need to play because it looks awesome.
Did it come out in 2015? Because I think it may have.
I think it may have been 2015 sounds right. Or maybe even 2014. It was.
No, 2014 was the sort of shit year. So I think.
Yeah, maybe 2015. Maybe it was announced in 2013 or 14. Yeah.
Either way, it's been a while since Ori, so to see the sequel coming out.
And the sequel looks good as well.
Does look good. They're really expanding on the combat, which is something a lot of people complained about being in the first one because it was really simple. Because most of the time you're just hitting X, and that was the combat. But I don't think the combat was ever its best feature. Anyway, the exploration, the escape sequences, which were their boss fights, which are now being expanded upon to being actual boss fights with more combat. Because they're adding the bow, they're adding a sword. Two things Ori did not have last time. So, and they've said it's going to have more of a Zelda influence.
Right, oh cool. Cool. So just a bit more variety, I guess, in terms of what you're doing in the actual levels and stuff. Yeah. But still keeping that same feel from the original. Yeah.
So that's the first game we can expect from Microsoft. Second one, I just had to Google then because I was going to do it earlier and I forgot. And it's Bleeding Edge, which is... Ninja Theory's latest game. Screen, stop it. And it's a multiplayer combat video game. Multiplayer combat. Wikipedia.
Which is kind of, sort of nondescript. But
doesn't tell me anything. I'm opening up. We saw the trailer at E3. It's pretty much an Overwatch-like game.
Right, yeah.
Would be my first kind of...
Yeah, I mean, even that image there straight away.
Yeah, a 4v4 team fighter. Experience one-of-a-kind multiplayer that fuses combo mechanics with dynamic third-person action. Team up and execute powerful synergized attacks to become an unstoppable force in the face of your enemies and your heroes of powers. So, yeah, this is... I think they were in development before they were bought out.
Yeah. And it's also, I think, one of the few games, at least for Xbox anyway, that's actually confirmed in terms of its release date for next year, which is early next year.
There's a couple others, but... Yeah, loadouts and stuff. My problem is that it sounds very similar to Overwatch.
It does, yeah.
I mean, Overwatch is not on the... Like, it's had its moment, more or less. Like it's not as rising like it was.
And unless they're kind of doing enough to kind of differentiate from that game and do something unique and cool, it's possible that it could, have a fairly sort of... Just be a bit underwhelming, I guess.
Yeah, well, like Gearbox tried going up against Overwatch. Yeah. Mainly because Battleborn was in development before they knew Overwatch was a thing. Yeah. But Overwatch definitely killed it.
It did, yeah. And it was kind of unfortunate because it was probably almost... just from the success of Overwatch, it was unlikely to ever really get like a sort of big market share in that sort of genre. But yeah, I mean, they're a great developer, Ninja Theory. They definitely have pedigree, so it could be good.
It has the potential to be good, but it may be overshadowed by titles similar to it.
Cautious optimism, I guess.
Cautious optimism, yeah. That's coming out March 24.
Right.
So not long before that's out.
And that's just before a big month, isn't it, in April, in terms of like Cyberpunk and other games around that sort of time?
Yeah, it starts to ramp up. So a game that decided to launch in that time period is Gears of War Tactics, which they've called Gears Tactics.
Yeah.
Because of War has been destroyed or something. They don't like calling it Gears of War anymore.
Yeah, and probably Gears Tactics kind of it probably just rolls off the tongue a bit better. Like
Gears of War Tactics.
Yeah,
Gears
it's
Tactics.
a bit maybe like wordy, yeah.
I enjoy saying Gears of War Tactics, so. Gears of War Tactics.
But yeah, again, confirmed release date, so April 28th.
Confirmed at the Game Awards. It is what we thought it was going to be, which is Gears XCOM.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Like, XCOM is clearly a good series that's lasted decades
definitely.
now. So.
Yeah, it's definitely not a poor comparison to have to be compared to XCOM.
Yeah, and recently Phoenix Point, which is basically Cthulhu XCOM, which is on Game Pass as well. So
is it as good as it sounds?
I don't think it is. I've heard things where it's not. But there's a lot of room in that series for fighting other things apart from aliens.
Yeah.
So Gears sort of really does fit into that role better than... I'm not sure better than Halo, because now that I'm thinking of it, I want a Halo Tactics game.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but it looks good. Like even from the trailers they've shown off, in terms of the kind of snippets of gameplay they've shown.
Yeah,
stuff, it looks promising.
And the storyline they've showed off, they've actually shown off full cutscenes. They say it's a 40-hour campaign.
Right.
This isn't a half-assed game.
This is substantial. Yeah.
This is effort. It's made by Splash Damage, who did the game. I can't think of it.
I recognize the name, but I can't place what it was that they...
It was called... That thing... I'm just slowing for time.
Bulletstorm, which I never played. I was always intrigued by that game. I always thought that was quite a cool game.
It's funny. It's one of the games I finished, but if you ask me to remember anything of it...
It's just,
I got no memory. I got nothing.
Yeah, I always was quite intrigued to play that game, but I think that was like 2010, 2011 sort of time, like just before next gen. 2011, I want to say, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a while ago.
Yeah.
I used to feel old, getting old.
But yeah, Gears Tactics, I think it's definitely promising. I mean, it's, obviously in a very well-established IP, and it looks good so far, so I think that's potentially very good.
Curious if they're adding vehicles to it, because XCOM traditionally doesn't. Phoenix Point does. Gears does have vehicles. Like, I'd be curious to see if they actually utilize them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the good thing about it, as you said, is that it's actually quite polished, like from what they've shown off. Like, it's definitely not like a half-assed sort of, side project or anything.
Yeah,
it's actually, it looks good.
There's clear effort involved here, which is something you always want to see out of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting time period as well.
It is. That's very, very competitive time. And then going into May as well. Last of Us 2.
Yeah, it's getting quite busy. And finally, the only other thing we know with a kind of
certainty,
more certainty. The others have sort of certainty because they're definitely going to hit them.
Dates, yeah.
But we're sort of hitting the more vague areas. So Minecraft Dungeons is one of them. It's coming out in April.
Sometime in April, yeah.
They haven't told us. Probably going to get delayed, I would think.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
To get out of there, maybe June.
Maybe push into June.
It's out of May
or June. Yeah.
I guess it's a different kind of game, but it is Diablo Minecraft.
Yeah.
And what they showed of it does look pretty interesting.
It does. Yeah, it actually looks quite good.
It's a good fit for Minecraft.
Yeah, because I mean, again, you're probably looking at that when you first hear that, you think it could be maybe a bit gimmicky and not kind of overly well developed, but it actually looks, the kind of snippets they've shown again looks quite good.
It does. I'm just curious who's actually developing it, because they say Mojang, who of course developed Minecraft.
Yeah, now bought Microsoft.
Now bought by Microsoft for a couple $2 billion.
Yeah.
They're not really a studio of that caliber.
No.
The Minecraft IP is just that valuable. So I'm wondering if they can actually make something else and be decent.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. Yeah, it should be. I mean, I never got super into Minecraft personally in terms of the original game or anything, which is definitely puts me in the minority.
Someone here has played it for thousands of hours.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think as like a Minecraft fan, like someone who's actually played a lot of the original?
I'm excited for it. Clearly, it's not Minecraft, but the kind of vibe is there. It's
Yeah.
sort of going for like a Lego game where it's got Lego games have a sense of humor and a sense of like consistency, I guess, in how they are.
Yeah, it's just kind of lighthearted almost.
It's
and
not
just
hard
kind
of fun.
Is it cooperative?
It is fully cooperative. They always have
which is
them.
good. Yeah.
It's Minecraft Dungeons is 4-player co-op.
Right.
So
Cool.
it'll be on Game Pass. So even if you don't want to buy for full price, you can get it on Game Pass, play with a couple friends.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great split screen game. Might actually play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is April.
Yeah.
It was meant to come out last year, but we'll see. So now we're moving on to...
Speculation, or kind of,
Well,
yeah,
not
sort of-
speculation
not
yet.
for all of them, but yeah.
We're getting there. We're
yeah.
getting there. The unknowns bolded bits down there. So we're going to talk about Xbox Series X, which is Holiday 2020, which is an interesting shaped console.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I remember like in that. I mean, obviously it was such a big surprise anyway, them kind of unveiling at the Game Awards and stuff. But yeah, I was very intrigued by the design, like the actual visual design. It's quite. I've kind of grown to it though. I think it's actually quite cool.
Yeah, I think the thing that's cool about it to me is that like it's almost full sized, so you can maybe fit a full graphics card in that maybe the PS5 won't do.
Yeah, and obviously, yeah, that's a very conscious thing that they've actually designed it to be able to incorporate a lot of power. I think in that unveiling video where they show the scale with the controller, it's really big, isn't it?
It's quite
a
big.
Really big console.
It's probably almost PC sized, like a little bit smaller, definitely not as wide.
Yeah.
But looking at my
But in terms of its
I'm
height,
just thinking like, yeah, the height wouldn't be far off.
And it does seem as if Microsoft's going that way, where they're wanting to almost make it more like a PC in terms of sort of their design and just going about that, which is an interesting choice, but it's probably a good choice, honestly. And the fact that it's called the Series X too.
It's actually called actually called the Xbox. They've revealed that that's like it's like the iPhone now. There's the iPhone 10.
Yeah.
If they skip that, I don't know anymore. But then there's like the iPhone SE or something like that, or the XS. That's the one. And the XR, and then there's the traditional one.
Right.
So I think you're going to see a couple different variants.
Yeah.
Maybe not initially,
but like over the next few years.
Probably few years. I don't think you'll see generations again after this.
Yeah.
I think you'll see iterations.
Iterations, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It'll be iterations instead of kind of a concrete kind of like this is a new generation. Which probably honestly is a good thing. Like it just makes it more kind of...
Well, this generation has pushed us there anyway, so now we're used to buying. Maybe a PS5 Pro would not be a surprise.
Yeah.
And just keep developing that. PlayStation are at the point where maybe... because they use the number system, they're kind of locked into continuing it.
Yeah.
Unless they copy Microsoft and go, it's called PlayStation.
Yeah, like just kind of a reset. Like it's just PlayStation.
But the Nintendo Switch, I feel, will just keep iterating.
Yeah.
For a long time. So I think power-wise, the Xbox Series X and PS5 are supposed to be similar.
Yeah.
But there's not really much else to speculate. We know what's in it. SSD is the important thing, apparently, that puts it at frame rates you've never seen before and changes lives, the universe, for that matter.
But no, I think it was. I think what's really cool about it is the fact that they actually unveiled it at the Game Awards. I think it really made an impression. I think it was a really cool thing to do that as well.
Nobody expected it.
No one expected it.
We didn't.
Yeah, we definitely didn't expect it. And just the fact that obviously in terms of reaching a huge audience, it was a very smart move.
It was, and it's made PlayStation a bit like, crap, they did that then.
Yeah, it's made them kind of have to react to. It's kind of now the opposite of what happened in this generation. Like Xbox kind of out first, really making an impression from the start. So I think it will make it interesting in terms of the race and the competition between Sony and Microsoft. Because obviously, at the start of this generation, Microsoft were just so put out from the start. Yeah.
Don Matrix screwed this up.
They lost so much goodwill with that launch.
Launch games have always traditionally been crap.
Yeah.
For the most part. What did Xbox One have? Rise.
Had Rise. It had
Forza 5, not a bad game.
Forza 5 was good.
I enjoyed it. It's a good racing game.
It had a couple of others.
Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty Ghost.
Launched with, a lot of
things like this will happen again. Like, I would bet on it. But, yeah,
the PS4's wasn't overly
Killzone
strong. It had Killzone Shadowfall, which
Knack
was quite good. Knack was just a joke.
Knack 3, bring it on.
Infamous, I think, was the next year, was 2014. That would have
was
been a
it?
good launch. Yeah, I think it launched the following year.
Correct us in the comments if you watch this video. But I think the launch titles for the Xbox One X are strong.
Potentially.
Same with Halo
very
Infinite.
strong. Yeah.
We know it's coming out holiday 2020. Same with the console. We don't know a lot else. We know it's set on a Halo ring. Who would have thought?
And that's kind of the interesting thing about, I think, PlayStation as well, is that it's kind of this grey area where a lot of things have been pushed into the next generation. So it's possible that it could have a very strong launch with some really good titles. Yeah, so if they choose to do that.
And Halo Infinite is probably the biggest.
Would be quite a statement, I think, to launch with that.
And they are.
Cool. Yeah.
And we know what we know about it is very little. We know it's new engine, old armor. They're using the Halo 3, Halo 2 armor.
Which is cool.
So, really, it looks like it's not a reboot. They're continuing 5 storyline.
Yeah.
To some degree, which, if you've followed this channel at all, you know my feelings on Halo 5.
They're not overly positive.
They're not positive, no.
But Halo 4, I mean, me personally, I loved Halo 4. I thought the campaign was excellent. Yeah. I think the multiplayer definitely had its issues. I think it started to kind of put it into kind of Call of Duty territory personally, and it kind of lost its identity a bit.
Halo 5 pushed that.
And Halo 5 kind of, accelerated that. But I haven't played Halo 5's campaign, but I enjoyed Warzone. I thought it was quite cool. But I didn't play a huge amount of the arena.
I thought Warzone was pay to win. And
it was quite sort of over the top with the microtransactions for sure.
So to me, that was the major failing as well. Like for me, across all of it, I did not like 5. There is not a lot I could say I liked about it, which I've thought about this a lot, and I've got my compliments for Halo 5 are it looks good.
The presentation,
and that's it. But Halo Infinite, I'm always willing to give them a second chance, and Infinite looks like it might be open world. I've no idea what they're going for.
Yeah, I think they've been kind of a little bit cryptic about it and stuff, which is good because it keeps people guessing and stuff.
Yeah, it keeps people interested.
But I would say, I mean, probably I imagine you're the same. I'm kind of again sort of cautiously optimistic. I think that they've been kind of literally hit and miss. Like I think 4 was great, and I think 5 had quite a lot of issues, especially with the campaign. I think for sure.
Definitely.
So kind of skeptical, but hoping for the best.
We have hope.
Yeah.
I think 343 are capable, and we'll just have to wait and see. Which it's not that much of a wait. It has been 5 years since Halo 5, fittingly.
Actually kind of longer than you would think.
Halo's usually like a 3-year thing, 2 to 3 years.
I mean, I do think the good thing about 343 is you can't doubt their love, I think, for the franchise. I think they really do put a lot of effort into it. I think they're very good at taking on board kind of critique and kind of things from the fan base, which I think is always a good thing.
If you think of the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
A lot of companies would sort of write that off, but 343 haven't done that.
No, not at all. Because, it had a very botched launch. But they did turn it around, and it's...
They did.
Yeah, which was impressive.
And it's also coming out, for the platform, is the rest of the Master Chief Collection on PC. Yeah. It's not with Halo 1 onwards, but... Since the Xbox Series X is backwards compatible, it launches being able to play all of it.
Yeah.
So it's something that is good because, you get to the next... When we move to this generation, nothing came with us.
Yeah, exactly.
But on this generation forward, we're bringing our entire library with us.
Yeah. Which is another good thing about doing away with generations as well, is just that in terms of making it backwards compatible as well. It's much better.
And there's one more game coming out that seems to be a launch title.
Yeah, seems to be, yeah.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, for launching apparently in holiday 2020.
Yeah, and I think even given the timing of that too, the fact that it was the first thing they showed after that unveiling of the Xbox Series X, it kind of seemed to fit that it was, if not a launch title, certainly early in that cycle.
Yeah, sort of like a showcase of okay, so this is the console, here's what I can do.
Yeah, this is what I can do, yeah.
See Ninja Theory making Hellblade 2, which there was so much lead up to Senua's Sacrifice with how Ninja Theory funded it and how they did it. Now they've got the biggest bank in the world behind them, and I'm very curious what Senua's Saga turns into now.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I mean I never played the original, but it was kind of that hybrid, wasn't it, where it wasn't quite a AAA game, and so
No.
that's going to be, as you say, the interesting thing, whether it's in terms of its scope for that next game. Are they going to go really big, or are they going to make it kind of a self-contained sort of short experience again?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure, because there's like Senua's Sacrifice is a game that takes on, I forget the thing, it's a very important part of it, like psychosis and stuff like that, hearing voices.
Yeah.
And that becomes a huge part of the sound design. I'm wondering now that it's AAA if they're going to still keep that a part of it or change that, because when you're trying to market a product like that, people might not want that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I think what's going to be interesting about it is, because I mean the first title was really a fairly kind of niche title, and it was something that I think actually really impressed people because it was doing something really different and cool.
Yeah, and that impressed me because it's just like
the
sound. There's no game that does sound design like Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah.
While I didn't beat it because I'm not a big fan of how it does puzzles.
Yeah,
I'm curious what they're going to do now.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, as I say, I haven't played it, but I was watching a review recently that was really praising how it actually uses, like you said, like sound design to actually kind of tell the story, and it actually incorporates into the gameplay as well, which I think is cool. Like, I think a game like that is cool because it's kind of making use of the medium as well, and it's doing something that
something that only video games can really do. A movie can't do that.
Yeah. So I think studios should always be praised for that when they're trying to sort of do something that's
push something that's a bit different than something you've seen ever before. And how the characters look, the design of them, like when they first showed off this trailer for Senua's Saga, like the trailer was really like you thought it was kind of scary, but you never questioned that the Senua character wasn't real. Because it's just like we've hit a point where it's believable. And
definitely. Yeah,
so that's Holiday 2020.
And honestly, I'll be quite optimistic, but I think it'll be a good game, I think.
Ninja Theory's biggest problem has always been budget. And now to see them with Microsoft behind them, who don't seem to be having too much influence in these studios.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it can only be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, Age of Empires 4 coming out eventually. We've seen a trailer for it, which shows nothing. It's set in same time period as Age of Empires 2, which they recently relaunched. So they're sort of going back to the roots of the series.
Right.
A bit after 3, which I don't know if you've played any Age of Empires.
No, I have very limited experience with. Maybe years ago I used to be fairly into strategy games, but not in recent years. Yeah,
so Age of Empires 3 was kind of colonial.
Okay.
And a lot of people weren't fans of that, myself included.
Right.
So now they're going back. I'm very excited. Relic, who are the developers of Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War, my favourite RTS.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And Homeworld and a couple other things. Space Marine.
Yeah.
Dawn of War 3, which is maybe the worst real-time strategy game I've ever played. So I love the studio, and then I was like, I don't care for them anymore. Now they got their hands on Age of Empires.
Now you're interested again.
And now I'm just like, please do this properly.
But again, kind of, it's up in the air in terms of when it's, like, would you say maybe end of 2020, maybe early 2021, or it's just unclear at this point?
Could be 2021. I don't think it's 2020.
So definitely next, I guess, quote unquote, next year.
But it could be 2020.
Yeah.
I could expect it.
Tail end of 2020, yeah.
Yeah, there's also the newest purchase, Double Fine.
Yep, Psychonauts
2, which I expect to be out in 2020.
And probably, again, a studio that has a good track record as well.
Definitely.
Is likely to be a good game.
They make different games than anyone else.
They do, very unique.
To see them now have, once again, the backing of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Instead of having to worry about funding and everything, they can make whatever wacky shit they want to make.
Yeah.
Which is probably the best thing you could say for Double Fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just let them do their thing.
Let Tim Schafer do what Tim Schafer does best. Weird stuff. So, not a lot to say on it. I don't think either of us have played Psychonauts.
No.
I want to play it, and I probably might check out the new one. So after that, we're now entering into the unknowns.
Yeah, the speculation.
All the speculation that we can expect. You can't expect speculation to be true or go anywhere. But I think you can expect Forza 8 to be in a launch
potentially
window.
A launch title, much like Forza Motorsport 5. Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprising. I think it's a good one because it's a showcase of graphics.
Yeah, and a good series, a good race.
Turn 10 have made arguably the best racing game series there is in recent days.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the recent era.
very consistent, and this spin-off Horizon is
Spin-off
good as well.
Horizon's good.
Yeah,
It's the best in the simcade space because it's not quite a simulator, but it's not arcadey.
Yeah,
It's sort of that little hybrid era.
Yeah,
And the thing I want to see Forza 8 do better is, number one, pit crews.
right.
Because in Forza, if you go into a pit, you just kind of just drive through it, then drive out.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's sort of,
So it's not an actual kind of properly integrated kind of mechanic or anything. It's just kind of just glossed over.
and an option for penalties, because the amount of races I've won by just pushing people into walls
Right.
and getting
Right.
through,
Yeah.
or like cutting across the track. It's just like maybe reinforce the track, the rules of the track a bit better.
Right.
But
right.
aside from that, apart from more cars, which is always welcome, and more tracks.
And it's always been a beautiful looking game as well.
It is, and I'm curious how it looks in next gen.
Yeah.
Because Forza 5 still holds up.
It does, yeah. And I remember at the time being blown away because I bought it as a launch title for the Xbox One. And it looked fantastic.
It did. So,
yeah.
Forza 8, we turn 10. Turn to
they turn to impress.
Make another 10. After that, there's Playground Games, which usually make Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
But are now making a rumoured RPG project.
Which is, it seems like a really big
some people think it's Fable. Some people want it to be Fable.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I would love to see a new studio attempt Fable, like a fantasy RPG where choice really matters. They should really just give that to Obsidian.
Yeah, I mean, Obsidian probably would be the ideal studio to do that. Can't think of anyone
sense of humour and stuff,
capable.
but Playground, they're a British studio. They get the humour of Fable. Molyneux is not a part of it, which might be a blessing or a curse, because
it's probably now a good thing, isn't it? Because I think kind of it was always a series that had a lot of potential, and I really enjoyed Fable. Like the first game, I thought was great. Fable 2 was good fun, but then I think one of those things where he didn't really have maybe anyone to rein him in terms of like some of his ideas.
Basically,
maybe.
George Lucas.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of probably a good parallel. And I think he was also maybe overly ambitious as well in terms of what he wanted it to be and what it actually was.
He's a bit like the No Man's Sky team.
Yeah, exactly. Sean Murray.
He wanted more than he could handle. And like with him, like I think with both of them, there was nothing sinister behind it.
No.
They were both really passionate people who could never live up to what they wanted it to be.
Yeah, and a lot of that was maybe just technical limitations. Or
at the time. So see Fable, I just really want to see what they can do with it.
Yeah,
maybe definitely. Some of those ideas that Molyneux came up with years ago are now finally possible. You plant that acorn tree, it turns into an acorn.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting to see, because it was. I think after Fable 3, I mean, Fable 3 was probably the weakest entry in the series.
Definitely.
And it kind of, I think, left a lot of people just thinking, like, where does the series kind of go from here? And then it was in this kind of weird stasis where, like, games were announced and then they were kind of cancelled and they were in development.
Fable Legends.
Fable Legends and stuff, yeah. So it was just kind of always very up and down.
Which never felt Fable to me. Like an asymmetrical multiplayer game in Fable universe, nobody wants that.
It always seemed like a strange, concept, I thought.
I think,
at least for that.
And maybe pour in a bit of the Dark Souls secret sauce that they know where to find it, because they still seem to do it, and just go ham on the choices making.
Yeah, exactly. It would be cool to see Fable on a bigger scale, like using that same, if it had that same charm, but like on a much bigger scale with choice and
make choice matter more than any other game that's ever been made.
Yeah,
so it's like your decision to maybe shoot this kid who may have become, who if you come back and you didn't shoot him, he becomes mayor, fixes the problems, or if he dies, it just the town goes to shit. There was no one there to save it. Like things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the thing you could always say about Fable was there was never really any other game like it. Like it was very unique in terms of its aesthetic
at the time. Even aesthetically,
Yeah.
Sparrow, Chicken Chaser.
And it was very English. Like it drew on like British humour and stuff. Yeah,
British humour's great.
Yeah.
So
it was good. Yeah. So I mean that would be a real like surprise, but it would be cool if another studio was taking it on.
The risk is what people think when they see Fable. And there's us going like, a Fable game, I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
And then for most people thinking, another Fable? Why?
Yeah, there's a lot of like baggage in that series.
There is, but I think it's worth continuing.
Yeah, definitely.
Another series with lots of baggage is Gears of War.
Yeah.
Coalition. They're going to make Gears 6. Haven't finished 5, but I imagine they're going to continue that into a trilogy. See where that goes. The new ones haven't been great. I'll be honest.
Yeah, so I can't speak to this because I've only played the original trilogy, and I don't think I even got to the end of Judgment. I just couldn't. I didn't
play
really
Judgment.
Disappointed by
1 to 3 are really good.
1 to 3 were great.
But
series.
4 felt weird. 5 still doesn't feel right. It's kind of, they tossed in this open world bit when it wasn't necessary because it just added, it was just padding. It was to make this game that was probably considered too short when they developed it.
Yeah.
To try and make it longer.
Right.
And I don't think it's really worked for it that well.
Would you say it's an improvement on 4? Like from having played both, or?
Yes, because there's less robots. And less robots is a good thing. But I don't think it does not live up to what Epic Games did with the Gear series before.
And I think it was always going to be a mountain to climb because the original series was fantastic.
It was.
And it was kind of, I think, along with Halo, like it was a real flagship series.
It was their next gen flagship.
Yeah.
Like their new series that just like became the Halo. It never hit the highs of Halo, but it was definitely a really good series. And I was about to say I'm excited to see where it's going. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't want to not care. I really want to see Gears have its moment. I want Halo to come back and have its moment, but...
Well, potentially, I mean, maybe these next entries in both will be, hopefully, because I mean, they would have learnt a huge amount from the first,
Gears 5.
2 games. Yeah. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how they handle
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Obsidian, don't know what they're working on.
You would have to imagine...
It's an RPG.
Yeah, I mean, it probably in the immediate future will be a sequel to The Outer Worlds.
Yep, they already said they wanted to do that, and now they can.
And I think recently, I'm not sure if you read, but they're actually developing DLC as well for Outer Worlds, which really interests me.
Obsidian definitely are focusing on that series.
Definitely.
For now.
And I think, I don't know in terms of specific numbers or anything, but it seems to have
well received, sold pretty well.
Yeah, really well received, and deservedly so. I think I just finished it recently. It's a fantastic game.
Need to start playing it, but
yeah. So I'm always interested in anything Obsidian are developing.
Yeah.
Whether it's sequel to The Outer Worlds or something else. Because they have, I mean, they're kind of running a few different series, aren't they? Because they've got Pillars as well.
Yeah, there's a couple things under there. I would like to see them go back to Pillars.
Yeah.
As well, but yeah. The other one after that is another studio that not a lot of people seem to talk about.
Yeah,
and it's The Initiative, which I'm currently trying to figure out what it is again. But it's a mix of developers from other studios.
Yeah, including Rockstar apparently.
Yeah, Daryl Gallagher is apparently the guy who worked at whatchamacallit? Crystal Dynamics.
Crystal Dynamics, yeah. Tomb Raider fame.
So they're working on something. We don't know what it is. But apparently we'll learn more about it next year, according to Game Informer. So, you know, I'm excited. That'll be at E3, if anything. You push this new, 4A studio that people seem to be calling it, and just go, here it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like looking at this list, I think that they're obviously playing the long game, Microsoft, in terms of, you know, studios that they've bought and stuff, because they've bought some really talented studios.
They have, like Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Obsidian, in Exile.
Sounds like The Initiative have like talented developers from different studios as well. Yeah. So I think in terms of the next generation as a whole, I think it has a lot of potential in terms of like going into like 2021 and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, at the moment, there's not much that's like concrete, I guess.
No,
But there's,
we know they're working on something. Apparently we'll know next year. That's all we know.
Yeah.
We've got Rare, who... Sea of Thieves is definitely going to be an ongoing project.
Yeah.
But now that that's out, I couldn't even tell you what they'll do next.
No, yeah, neither. It could really be anything, couldn't it? I mean, with Rare Replay, they obviously, you know, they re-release some of their older games and stuff, so they're kind of being there to some extent.
But what they should really be making is a new Banjo-Kazooie.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
They got Undead Labs, who made State of Decay.
Yeah, which the most recent one, I didn't have the best reception, did it?
I did not like it.
Yeah,
but,
which was a shame.
Microsoft must have recognised talent.
Yeah.
And there's In Exile, which is developing Wasteland 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looks cool, but
again, probably more of a niche. I would imagine more of a niche kind of audience would it be for that type of game.
And then finally, Compulsion Games. We Happy Few, ex-Arcane developers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No idea what they're doing.
Yeah, but again, probably in that indie space.
In that kind of smaller thing.
Yeah.
They got Moon Studios, which is Ori.
Yeah.
Making Ori. Apparently they're hiring to make an RPG now.
Right.
So,
cool.
Curious to see what happens, but that's basically everything you
That's
expect.
pretty much the extent of it.
From Xbox in 2020 and clearly beyond. So, yeah, is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining me.
Yep, thanks for joining us.
I've been Mitch, I've been Callum. If you enjoyed this video, do the YouTube stuff. All of it would be good. Some of it would be nice. Anyway, hopefully, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.